Increasingly, the mandate within state government seems to be, let's do more with less. Sure, it sounds like a good idea, and it rolls nicely off the tongue, especially for someone who doesn't have to actually do it. But what if you're the person who does have to do it? How do you go about it? Where do you begin? And for that matter, is it even possible? Not easy questions, yet that is what government agencies everywhere are being asked to do in so many words by their legislatures and taxpayers. Give us all the services you do today, and oh, by the way, improve the quality and the way you are delivering these services. But do it for much less money. This is the challenge agencies are up against right now. Is significant improvement possible? Let's start with the first question on our minds. Is it really possible to do more with less? Knowing a little about the innovative nature of human beings, especially truly motivated people, we can say emphatically, yes, it must be. But it would certainly help to have a little more proof than a platitude about necessity being the mother of invention. It would be nice to have evidence from others who have already done it and have the results to prove it. Fortunately, these results do exist, and there are loads of them. This site's links page connects you to a number of websites loaded with results and case studies of organizations that have made steep gains in productivity without adding resources or making significant investments. Until recently, the majority of these success stories have been in the private sector, but that too is changing. There are enough public sector illustrations to validate that the same results are possible in government agencies. While state government environments are unique in many ways, they have critical similarities with commercial environments. Both are made up of systems of resources, people, equipment, and technology who must work in concert to deliver their products or services. Managing and coordinating these resources is a universal issue, especially marshaling them to work in a coordinated and efficient way. So, the broad scope of environments represented by these many stories should provide some degree of confidence that meaningful gains can be accomplished. This confidence can be enhanced by understanding the underlying logic of the processes that led to such gains. Such an understanding will also enable you to better evaluate the applicability of the methodology to your own environment. Kristen Cox's video on the homepage of stategovernmentefficiency.info lends additional credibility to the possibility of major gains at a state agency. The video following this one in the series dives deeply into how identification of hidden capacity can lead to real productivity gains, and how you can determine if such an opportunity exists in your organization. How do we go about doing more with less? Belief in the potential for real change is just one important hurdle we must cross. We are still faced with the questions of where to begin and how to go about making the appropriate changes. These can seem daunting tasks, even for the highly motivated. Probably every agency across the country has had the experience of launching and diligently carrying out numerous improvement initiatives, only to see these efforts drag on or even languish, and in the end deliver far less than the hoped-for benefits. Many of the most widely publicized methodologies, Lean, Six Sigma, and Kaizen to name a few, have been tried and discarded for lack of significant and timely results. We know all too well the pain and effort involved in running such initiatives in our organization. One may reasonably wonder if another effort can even be justified. There's a very logical reason why these and all too many of our initiatives fail to deliver the expected results. While this is discussed in more detail in the next video, the simple answer is that most initiatives are aimed at making improvements in individual areas of the operation, without a clear understanding of how that area impacts the performance of the system as a whole. Maybe we purchase a new phone system to help us improve the responsiveness of our call center, when we really should be asking what we are doing that is prompting so many people to need to call us. Or perhaps we try to streamline a particular process without identifying that it already outperforms some bottleneck elsewhere in the organization that is overloaded with work. If an improvement action is truly beneficial for the organization, we should see a corresponding large increase in the organization's output, or a corresponding large reduction in our expenses. Unfortunately, too many of our initiatives have failed to deliver either. So where do we begin? The key to making real improvements at the organizational level is to understand that our agencies are made up of resources that must operate as a single unit or system to accomplish our agency's purpose. An analogy is that our organizations are made up of chains of resources. And as we all know, a chain is only as strong as its weakest link. Improvements which do not strengthen the weakest link do not improve the organization as a whole, and thus fail to significantly impact our performance or enable us to reduce spending. This common sense, but not widely applied understanding explains why so many of our past efforts have failed to enable us to significantly reduce spending. At the same time, it provides us with the direction of the solution to our problem. Now we can begin to see the answers to our other questions of doing more with less. How does one go about it, and where does one begin? The key to unlocking the higher levels of efficiency needed to do more with less begins with understanding and managing our operation through its weakest links, its constraints. To help us understand this process and how to find the productivity gains we so urgently need, the next video explores the most common ways capacity is lost in organizations. In it, we delve in more depth into how to identify the wasted capacity in our organization, even when at first glance your resources appear to be maxed out. From this new perspective, you will be able to better evaluate the potential to unleash hidden capacity, hidden productivity in your organization. As soon as you can visualize these common capacity drainers at work in your world, you will have taken the first critical step toward realizing much higher levels of productivity. The link below on this page will take you to this video where you can begin to see the hidden potential in your agency.